This is Krusty Bob, and today I have a Japanese bayonet. This is the Type 30, which was introduced way back in 1897, but used through World War II. Now these things are about 20 inches overall, and you can see in the scabbard right here, it's just about 20.5 inches. And they actually did this in something like, one person says 18 variations, and somebody else says when you look at the scabbard, and you look at the frog, that being this part right here, and the grips, and the quillion, he says there's about 200 variations of those things being combined. Now this one has marks on it for what was called the Tokyo Arsenal, and then it was called the Kokura Arsenal, and that was basically 1930s into, again, 1945. This one is really in pretty good shape, as you can see. As you can see, there's a can of WD-40 that I just knocked with the scabbard. Beautiful condition. There's the Arsenal mark, as they call it. And again, before 1936, this was the Tokyo mark. After 36 and up to 45, it was called the Kokura mark. I don't know how you tell the difference on them. But again, the blade, very nice condition. A little bit of corrosion on the end here. Look at that side compared to that side. This came from somebody who lives on a very thin peninsula surrounded by salt water, and I've bought stuff from people who lived in that same neighborhood before, and boy, they have some problems with rust there. So we want to get this off, maybe a little bit of that, just basically get that loose brown rust off of that. The blade, again, in very nice shape, very even edge on it. I would imagine this is the original edge. The frog is leather, and it's really stiff. You just cannot do anything with that. So we're going to take the scabbard out of the frog so that we can clean that up. You can see a lot of rust on there. Let's grab a piece of paper. So I got some paper. Let's rub that over here. Yeah, there's not a lot. What I'm going to do is take one of these, a little Scotch-Brite pad, and soak it with WD-40 and go over this part lightly and remove that. And again, this process using these nylon pads and WD-40 is not going to harm the steel or the patina. It will take off the brown rust. To get this thing off, there's a little screw on the back side. Okay, that's loose, I believe. This is very tight on there. There we go. Good old rubber mallet. Now they're ready to clean. Let's dig out the tools of the trade. I use WD-40, Scotch-Brite pads, which I soak, a little brass brush, and I also have these rotary brass brushes, and they go in this Dremel tool clone I got from Harbor Freight. Set that out of the way. Oh, also a big roll of paper towels because this is a dirty mess. Hence the gloves. Really what we're doing here is a deep cleaning. Look at that, how brown that is. Yuck, that's like mud. And I recommend just wiping this stuff off frequently. Paper towels are fairly cheap. I use Bounty, the picker-upper, by the way. Okay, let's put some over here. When I'm done, I will take these things outside or into the garage, and I have an air compressor, and I'll squirt this down with window cleaner, wipe that off, and then use the air compressor to blow out all traces of the WD-40 and the window cleaner. A little more up here. You can see how much rust is still on there. Okay, Harris, are you liking the looks of your soon-to-be new Arisaka Bayonet? That's the area where there was a very brown patch. Let's go over that just a little bit more. Take a run around the guard. These are long bayonets. I think by the time World War II arrived, the Germans and the Americans and everyone else decided that they no longer needed these very long blades as were used in World War I, but the Japanese kept with them. If you mount this thing to a rifle and hold it out with the weight of this on the end of it, my gosh, you know, you realize what a bear it must have been to carry these things around with the Arisaka rifles. Tremendous weight, and not only that, you had to contend with U.S. Marines trying to kill your butt, and just the jungle itself and the mosquitoes and everything. Maybe a little more over there that could come off. Well, this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you can see it here, but cleaning that off brought out the serial number, and there's some other marks. So I may be able to date this to whether it's pre or post 1935. So that's really ready to be sprayed with the WD-40, with the window cleaner, which again, I use that to remove the WD-40. I don't want any traces of that. I don't consider WD-40 a protectant, but it is really great for removing rust. That all looks pretty nice. So I'm going to get rid of the gloves, turn off the camera, and go out and use the window cleaner and the air compressor to do the final cleanup, and then we can assemble it all. Time to put it back together. Okay. So we need to put a little screw in here to hold that all together. It's a wide slot, so you have to have a pretty wide blade so it doesn't slip in there. Okay, Harris, you can come pick it up when you're ready.